When people think of simple living, they think about morning coffees on the porch on a beautiful day and a nice, neat pantry. And they don't think about replacing the beams to your house because they rotted out after 7 years, all while the generator needs to be repaired, the weeds are overtaking the garden, and rain ruins your entire plan for the week. Simple living sometimes feels like survival with a bunch of extra steps. Hey y'all, welcome to THAM 141 Homestead. My name is Tracy. If this is your first time here, welcome. If it's your millionth time here, welcome back. I think a lot of people, especially in the suburbs and the small towns, are beginning to wake up to the feeling that modern life is just broken. People want slower living, more independence and freedom, more control over their own food and energy. And I understand that completely. Those are all huge reasons why I began my off-grid homesteading lifestyle. But what most people don't realize is that simple living is physically, emotionally, and mentally demanding in ways that you'll never understand until you actually do it. And today I just want to talk about that a little bit. One of the biggest misconceptions is that simple living means less work. Yeah. No, it usually means that you become responsible for things that someone else used to do for you. If you live in town and the heat quits, most people call somebody. If I lose heat, I got to figure it out real quick, or at 20 below outside, it's going to get really, really cold in that cabin. If the power goes out in town, people get annoyed and are inconvenienced. If my solar system has a problem, all of a sudden I'm managing batteries and wires and generators and fuel, weather forecasts and electrical loads all at the same time. And I have to fix it myself or I can be in big trouble. Simple living removes convenience, but convenience is here for a reason. That was a hawk that just flew by with a snake in its mouth. I wish I had gotten that on camera. The weather controls everything. And I don't think people truly understand that until they're dependent on being outside. 1 week of rain can destroy your plans like that and set your whole schedule of planting and everything way behind. You can have lumber and equipment sitting there, nails ready, everything ready to build, tools out, and everything stops until the weather clears up. For how long? You don't know. It could be 4 days before it stops raining and the weather gets right. Now the weather clears up, the garden needs weeding, the pigs need attention, the chickens are running all over the place like chickens. Solar production has stopped for 4 days, and the mud, Tug Hill clay just gets ridiculous with mud. And now the project you thought would take a day, 2 days, is now into the 2-week zone. Yeah, the weather becomes your boss and your scheduler. This year I'm actually cutting my garden in half, and that's actually hard to admit because people equate garden size with success. But one thing homesteading has taught me is that there's a huge difference between what sounds good and looks good on paper and what you can realistically maintain. I really dislike weeding. If you know anything about me, that's something you'll know. So I tried the Back to Eden garden method. And guys, that worked great until I fell behind. The weeds pulled out so easy, it was great. But it took too long to build the soil, and once I lost control of it, I lost control of it. That's a garden, people. And I'm sure that the Back to Eden gardening method would have worked great eventually. But right now, I'm still trying to learn after 7 years what really works here. I'm going back to the more conventional methods. It's not easy to say, hey, I failed, this didn't work, because Well, quite frankly, I just did not keep up with it. And to be perfectly honest, weeds don't care about your YouTube education. Finding good heirloom seeds can be harder and harder. Everybody wants these GMO things that produce nice, ripe fruits. But I gotta tell you, I'm concerned with what happens when these seed packets aren't in the stores. During the pandemic, they literally, in some states, stopped selling seeds. That made no sense to me, because when people needed to be self-sufficient, they made them more dependent on the system that was being wreaked because of the lockdowns. You spend all this time trying to become more self-reliant, and you start to realize just how dependent modern gardening is on the system, on buying seeds over and over and over again. So there's a constant balancing act between idealism and reality. And this is the part nobody tells you. You're never actually finished. There is always something else to do. When you're done with one project, there's 3 more waiting. Last year, I ended up replacing the beam structure under the house that was rotting out. Not remodeling, not upgrading. Literally replacing the structure that was holding up my house, my shelter, my heat. We had no way to know that this area was rampant with moisture under the house that was going to rot the carrier beams. So we built the house the way we knew that so many other houses were built. And that's the kind of thing people don't see when they look at the homesteading lifestyle. Emergencies don't care if you're tired. They don't care how much money you have in the bank. They don't care if you already have 10 things scheduled. And meanwhile, I've got backup generators that need to be fixed so that they can back up the generator that's backing up my solar panels. And at some point you realize that half of homesteading is maintaining your systems that maintain your other systems. I think one of the hardest parts I've found in homesteading is honestly the mental side. And I'm no mental giant to begin with. But you wake up in the morning with a plan. Today I'm going to split wood, or weed the garden, fix a fence, work on a piece of equipment, maybe even just relax for a minute. And then by 9 a.m., something completely unexpected comes in. A chicken needs help. A hawk flies over. The phone rings. And it doesn't take long to figure out that time management has nothing to do with scheduling. It's all about controlled chaos. You learn to prioritize constantly and reprioritize on the fly. What has to happen today, what can wait till tomorrow, and what's going to become catastrophic if I ignore it. And that is the real skill. And despite all this, I still think this life is worth it. Not because it's easy, but because it's real. It's tangible. There's something deeply satisfying about putting wood on the fire that you processed, that was a tree on your property that you dropped, you split, you stacked, you dried. Equal satisfaction in eating food that you grew in your garden, no matter how imperfectly or weed infested it was. Producing my own electricity. That slight reassurance every time I hear somebody say, my electric bill doubled this month. The satisfaction of taking responsibility for my own life. And I think even the struggle has a value. Modern life has removed a lot of the hardship, but I think it's removed a lot of the meaning too. Like giving someone a fish as opposed to teaching them to fish. Yes, you fed them a meal, but when they have to work for that fish to catch it, to get everything just right, they gain an appreciation for that fish. This lifestyle forces you to grow in ways you didn't know were possible. It forces you to adapt and to make yourself capable of things you never thought you would be capable of. And maybe that's why at the end of overwhelming days, frustrating days, exhausting days. I still want to continue the fight. If you're interested in the simple life, the homesteading life, becoming more self-sufficient today than you were yesterday, don't let this video scare you away. By any means, let it encourage you. Just understand what you're signing up for. This life is immensely rewarding, but it's rewarding because it's difficult. Not everybody can do this. Not everyone can become a producer instead of a consumer. Hey, if you enjoyed this talk today, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, that little notification bell so that you can be notified every time I come out with new content. And thanks for stopping by the homestead today. We love you! And God bless. Be encouraged. Be of good cheer. It's all going to work out.